Like nowadays, especially with more publicity on men's mental health and mental health in general, more people are feeling able to talk about it publicly, and therapy is now kind of seen as something good, you know? I'm not saying that everybody needs it, but I'm saying like it is good. If you have issues, sometimes you need to talk to an expert, you know what I mean? Same way like when you're sick, you go to a doctor, you know what I mean? So what are your thoughts on that? And also, I want to ask you, like when you're sitting with someone and let's say you're doing therapy, how does that conversation go? What are the questions you kind of ask?
Oh, wow. That's
it's a very loaded question.
It's a very tough
question. It depends who you're sitting with.
Yeah, it depends on who I'm sitting with, what the presenting problem is, what they're experiencing, how they are. I mean, it's a very hard question to answer, but I would actually say everyone requires therapy, but not from, not everybody has what we call like clinical difficulties, right? Things that are quite extreme. But I think it's nice to talk to somebody that has no investment into your life and it's a complete kind of objective perspective.
Holistic.
And they give you a perspective that you wouldn't necessarily think of. I mean, one of the biggest misconceptions about psychology is that we give advice. We don't. Because there are two main reasons why I don't give advice. Number one, I don't want people to keep coming back to me. That's not the point of therapy. And number two, I mean, if they take my advice and something bad happens, I'm to blame, right? So the idea is I'm trying to get people to find the resources within them to get them where they want to go. But I think everybody can benefit from talking to someone every now and then. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
What do you think?
Yeah, honestly, I'll be honest, she's here. I wasn't a big fan of the whole see a therapist. I think at one point, but it was pushed like, go see it. You need to see a therapist. You need this. You're stressed. You need to see someone, speak to someone. I was anti. I was like, no, why? Like, I'll speak to someone neutral who has no care. They're going to be, whether example is relationship or marriage counselling, a lot of people get, you're thinking, oh, they're not going to be biased. Is it a woman or man? And you just have this misconception. It's unfortunate. Like, you think, oh, they're going to be biased. They're going to say you're this, you're that. So at first I was like, I don't need to. But like, when you research, it's the taboo the media have given it. So I totally understand it. I think some of the time it could just be an ear for someone to speak to for a lot of people who are not, like you said, don't have that community, family unit. It depends on everyone. Like you said, it's hard to judge who she speaks to. It could be an extremely masculine man who's very close but will open himself to her, or someone who has no family, or someone who's going through a divorce, or it could be anything. But yeah, like if it works, of course, I think it's good. I think it's good because it's a neutral person speaking to you, maybe in a different, unbiased way. It could help many people. And like, there's many ways of therapy. I'm not sure if she'll agree, but people use yoga, meditate. Some people pray. For me, praying in the Quran. Like, everyone has their own vice, which when they're stressed, it helps. So I know many
coping mechanisms.
Yeah, I know many who've been to therapy for years before people knew about it. Like you call it a shrink, unfortunately, in the West, but they'd use it. And he's a big CEO, and it helps him a lot. He'd just go to vent all his stress and talk about things, and he just wanted to talk to someone regarding no business, nothing. It was like this. So yeah, I think for sure.
Someone who has no agenda. You know, sometimes when you ask your friends for advice, they'll give you what benefits them. Or you ask, let's say, a parent, and obviously they want you to be a certain way. So, but sometimes you want an outside perspective that has no agenda with you at all, you know, that doesn't care whatever you do, you know?
Yeah, and I think they let you speak. Majority, I've not done from what I've read about it in a study, that they'll let you just open up. They'll listen to you and then speak around what you're speaking. It's not really a questionnaire. It's like, okay, how are you doing today? What are you doing? And then they let you open up, and from there they'll know how to heal each wound or touch. I think people have this misconception. It's like you're sitting under this one light and she's going, what did you do? That's the old misconception of therapists and psychology. But I think it's more of like, I think 80% of what I've spoken to people, it's just someone to talk to and just vent things they cannot say to anyone else. They feel they can't, or they're pressured to. Like she said, majority of men nowadays may be doing so. For sure, it's nothing but beneficial. As long as, of course, they're qualified and licensed and everything, and there's not someone reading Cosmopolitan magazine, then go for it.
Right. Well, I mean, I have a lot of male clients who benefit from this for that exact reason, is that they don't have a support system here. And, Dubai is a very metropolitan city, very expat oriented. So there's a lot of people here that don't have families. So for them, it's very difficult to not have anyone to talk to. And sometimes, like you said, they feel like their friends have an agenda or something like that. So essentially, just having a therapist it's a great way to bounce ideas off of even sometimes. But sometimes individuals will go through more difficulties.
So